From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Vault. Jersey Joe back in action. It is time to get to our weekly Dodgers baseball segment. Now, kind of had the luxury of doing each game since we're right at the start of the season, but when you look at the Dodgers so far, look, 2-1 again in the opening series, a lot of good things to like. Obviously, dropping one game the other day, but last night bouncing back in a big way. Headline, of course, by Adrian Gonzalez, his 3 home runs last night, 5 total in the first 3 games. The guy just has been phenomenal. He hasn't skipped a beat, and I think that's what Adrian Gonzalez is. He's a guy who's always going to be as consistent as anybody. He's a guy who's always putting up great numbers. You can always rely on him. Now, from his standards, I thought last year wasn't one of his best, but it was still very good in regards to most players. But Adrian is a guy who's always there, is always such a big piece of that Dodgers lineup. It's really encouraging to see him kind of setting that tone early. And if there's one thing that the Dodgers are showing you so far in these first 3 games, is that hopefully this is the tone they're setting. It's a timely hitting lineup, because that is going to be the thing for everybody. It's the thing that really is the most important, is timely hitting. Timely hitting has been a thing they've shown so far. Howie Kendrick has done terrific things so far. Jimmy Rollins, aside from the first game, has struggled a little bit in the next 2. But I think timely hitting has been a thing that's been big, and they've shown it the first couple games. When you look at McCarthy's performance last night, again, not the best, but he gets the win, and it's pretty solid for the most part. Overall, it seems like the Dodgers have kind of got hammered early in the first inning. They've kind of had some trouble in that first inning, and then things have really settled down. For Kershaw, he gave up his first run in the first. Same thing with Greinke. Same thing with McCarthy last night. But overall, I think you got to be pretty happy with all 3 guys. Greinke pitched very well, probably the best out of the 3. Kershaw didn't pick up the win, but again, it wasn't terrible, but certainly not a Clayton Kershaw-esque performance. I think overall, you've got to be pleased with what you've seen, and especially from the offense. Again, it's all going to come down to what's going to happen with this team when it get down the stretch. Is the timely hitting going to be a factor that works for them? Because if anything we've seen in recent memory from the playoffs, it's all about timely hitting. You can't say enough how much it means to get that timely hitting from people. And one thing that I am still worried about, and you saw it in so far, is Matt Kemp's gone off to a terrific start. Matt Kemp has been playing really well in this series. I think it's going to be a bat they're going to miss. Now, I know how much money they save, but right now, if you're the Dodgers, that should be the last thing on your mind, money. You've got the highest payroll in baseball. What's having one more piece like that going to do? And when you look at the Dodgers' second half last year, he's the most important player to them by far. Yasiel Puig disappeared off the face of the earth, and when you look at it, he was him. It was all Matt Kemp the second half of the season. He was by far their most important offensive player. He stepped up big time. I didn't like giving him away. I think, and that's one other thing you've got to give the Dodgers credit for, is they really have depth. They have real depth, and it's really going to be important down the stretch. But this Dodgers team is very good. It's a lot of fun to watch. And there was a trade today. Today, the Dodgers announced the acquisition of a Rule 4 draft pick, right-handed pitcher Ryan Webb, and a minor leaguer catcher Brian Ward from the Orioles. They get minor league catcher Chris O'Brien and minor league pitcher Ben Rowan. So again, another move for the Dodgers, kind of maneuvering things. And it's interesting. You got Feinstein there now, who certainly knows his stuff. But I think this roster, for the most part, is in really good shape. The bullpen still gives me a little bit of concerns in some regards. Look, you always know what you're going to get from Paco Rodriguez. We saw him again last night. You always know J.P. Howell is going to be very solid for you, give you his good stuff. I think Peralta is a nice upgrade in some regards. But I think for the most part, there's still some concerns with that bullpen. Now, it'll help, especially with Brandon McCarthy there, because I think Brandon McCarthy is a better rotating pitcher than they even had. I think last year after Hyun-Jin Ryu, there was a big drop-off. Josh Beckett was never healthy, never consistent, and then when you look at Dan Haren, he was just never in a good form all year. Brandon McCarthy was tremendous for the Yankees last year. I think you finally have something consistent in the 4th starter spot. He's going to be very important for them as well. But look, 2-1 in the opening series. I'll take it. I really will. I think right now with Hyunjin Ryu not on the mound, the rotation is not 100% in position. When he's back, they certainly will be. But I think for the most part, with the way Adrian Gonzalez has looked, with the way Howie Kendrick has looked, hopefully Yasiel Puig starts hitting the bat in a little bit with the depth that they have. So much good things for the Dodgers. Dodgers baseball, though, is off tonight. They'll be back on Friday against Arizona, so we'll definitely be back to catch up on that weekend series and as we move into the week. But that is a little bit of your Dodgers update as of last night. Headlined by Adrian Gonzalez. 5 home runs in the first 3 games. Couldn't ask for any more. But this is Jersey Joe. Be back in a minute.